government worker. Okay? If that's you, you still have time to change, okay? That's personal branding. Right? Even the way we dress, right guys? We go to work, so what's the difference between business casual and business? I go to a lot of places, and I see different dress at every place I go. So does it matter? Does it really matter what you wear to work? A lot of people are shaking their heads yes, up and down. So if I'm a student and I walked into the center, which person would I walk up to? The shirt and tie, or the more business casual person? Business casual, some people are saying. Why? More comfortable, but I thought the proper dress was a shirt and tie. So you look more professional. You know what, we can argue all day about it, and I'll be right because I've got the mic and the clicker. But I don't want to argue. Okay, I don't want to argue. But it's part of how you represent yourself. We've got a job developer in Delaware who works for a career team, Mr. Johnson. You have to call him Mr. Johnson. He's in charge of all our job developers at all our offices. He is the most natty dressed person you've ever met in your life. 68 years old, you have to wear a shirt and tie. He walks around with that Bluetooth thing in his ear talking all the time. I don't think it's on. I think he's talking to himself. But he's a really big guy. I'm not going to argue with him. By himself in Delaware, he placed about 300 people last year. Wilmington, Delaware is not a big city. But Mr. Johnson knows people. And when you ask him a question or ask him a favor, his only response is, I know a guy. Our office space in Wilmington used to be Vice President Biden's space when he was Senator Biden. As soon as the election was done, he approached the Biden staff and said who we were and that we needed the space, and we got it for 10 cents on the dollar. Okay? But he believes professional dress is the only way. If you're intimidated by me, it means you think I'm better than you, and I'm not, and let me show you and teach you how you're not. Okay, how I'm not. Okay? But it's a debate. There's a lot of places. I've been to places where what they do is they actually dress like a client for the day. Or dress like a student. So pick out a student or a client that you've seen come in and dress like them for the day, so when folks do come in, we get to reflect upon and show them exactly what we're seeing. So if you work at any kind of workforce organization, you may have a pajama person, somebody who shows up in their PJs all the time with a bag of jeans, whatever it might be. So personal branding really makes a difference. How people say who they are does make a difference. So on the Forbes 400 list, who knows who the richest person in America is? Who knows? It's Bill Gates. Cool $60 billion in the bank. Anybody know who number 2 is? Warren Buffett. Okay, very good. Now this guy here seems to go around acting like he's the richest, though. Does he not? So where do you think he ranks on that Forbes 400 list? Okay, 128. But he walks around like he's the biggest and the best. He does a great job of branding, because when you think Trump, besides thinking big mouth and bad hair, you think money. You think expensive. You think successful. Ever hear the Donald talk in an interview? He uses the word best hundreds of times. The best golf, the best casino, the best resort, the best show, the best this, the best that. You have to associate best with Trump, whether you like it or not. Okay? But he's not ranked up there. So what about businesses? Businesses, okay, brand themselves as well. So there's all kinds of logos out there in the world that we're supposed to recognize. And we do. Right? There's some that reach all kinds of great status. That generic branding, okay, where we say Kleenex, no matter what kind of tissue we're reaching for, or let's Google something, even though there's tons of search engines out there, or Xerox to make a copy. What's the other one? FedEx, when you want to send something, you don't say, let's UPS it. We FedEx it. For those of you who have never studied the FedEx logo there, can you find the arrow in the logo? Does anybody know where that is?
E and X.
Anybody not know where it is? Raise your hand. We won't make that you're... Look between the E and the X. That's an arrow in there. You're going to be hypnotized every time you see a FedEx truck. Well, I found this out like 2 years ago. Now, every truck that goes by, I have to concentrate to find the arrow and see it. There it is. Unsuccessful. Okay? Those folks spend a lot of money branding so that they're recognized no matter what in the industry and in the world. What about Nike? When you think Nike, right, you think just do it. That's what Nike wants to hear. They don't care what it is. You can throw it, catch it, wear it, kick it, just as long as it is with Nike. Nike got a boost in the 90s because who was their star representative in the 90s? There he is, right? Chicago's own. Okay? Michael Jordan. Then after Michael Jordan retired, who took over the brand that you associate with Nike? Tiger Woods. And then what happened? Tiger took this a little too literally, and the whole brand